Okay, to make this work, I have to set something up, which is in this case going to be what's called a global. I call it a global variable. Fusion calls these things global values, and these are a variable is a sort of object that you can store information in. I'm going to call this menu page, and I'm going to use this as a test to see, first of all, whether a button has been pressed at all, and secondly, as a way of storing which button you have pressed, let's say. So this will apply throughout the whole application. I'm using a global value here. Now back on my title page, and this is the event editor of the title page, I will set up a condition here at the start of the frame. I'm going to set this global value here using change global value set, and choose menu page 0, so that's actually okay. And I'm going to put that at the top of my event list here, so it executes first, which it should do anyway, but anyway. So I'm setting that to 0, and then what I'm doing is I'm going to add that to this button click here. So I will say change the global value, set menu page to 1. So if you click on the head button here, it will set that menu page value to 1, and if we click on the piper, I'm going to set that value to 2, and that's going to correspond to our well, it corresponds to our kind of subsequent pages. Then what I'm going to do is create a couple of tests to see if our buttons both have left the screen and which page it's selected. So this menu page variable will determine which page we're going to. So the first thing I'll do is make a test for the head. I'm testing the position and the X value. So the X value is the sort of left and right position of the button. So I'll say compare X position to a value, and I'll say less than -99, and the reason I'm using that is because that's a pixel value, and my buttons happen to be 100 pixels across. So what this means is if this head button reaches a position that's less than -99, which will be when it's completely off the screen to the left, then that will be true, and then I'll insert another test which will be testing compared to a global value. So what this is doing is I'm looking at menu page and testing to see if it's equal to 1. So what this means is these two things mean is if this head button is off the screen and if menu page is equal to equal to 1, which means that if it's equal to 0, which it is at the start of the frame, it won't do this thing that I'm doing. Now the thing that I want it to do is actually jump to frame 2. So, whoops, I'll say jump to frame 2, which I've made a blank frame 2 here. So, which will mean that, so for example, if this button is off the screen but menu page is not equal to 1, then it won't jump to the frame. Let us test that. So here's our application. Our button's kind of slid in. So hopefully what should happen is I'll click on the head button, it will wait until it's off the screen, and then it will jump to this blank frame. Ta-da! Hopefully. Anyway, oops. There we go. So that seems to have worked. Let's change that to... Actually, let's leave that for now. And I'm going to insert another... Oops. Another frame 3 for now. And what I'll do is I'll put another test in for the Piper, and I'll test the position. So again, it's the same thing. The position is the X value. I'm going to say lower than negative 99. And both the buttons are the same in terms of how big they are. And I'm going to insert another condition, which will be the global value of menu page, and this time equal to 2. And in this case I want it to jump to frame 3. So before I do anything, I'll just add a piece of text which indicates which frame this is. So if we say this is frame 2 and then frame 3, we'll put a string object which says frame 3, just to make sure this is working. I'll run that. So I'll click on the head, I'll go to frame 2, click on the Piper, we go to frame 3. So that seems to be working. What I'm actually going to do now is delete these frames, because I've got this set up. So to save me duplicating all of this, I can just copy this page. So what I'll do is actually I'm holding down the control key, I'm dragging into application, and that creates a copy. So I've actually got a copy of those, and I can rename those. So I'll call this head page there. I'll call this Piper page. Piper page. Actually, let's just get rid of that. And what I'm doing now is I'm altering these pages so that they've got the right stuff in them. So we'll say, no, let's have that as an object. So this is my terracotta head, which is hopefully that. Yeah. So this is my actual one of my object pages. On my Piper page, let's have another active object. Is that about the same? Yeah. So let's test that. So now my application is running. Click on the head button, goes to the head, click on the Piper, goes to the Piper, and I haven't done anything with that. We could, now that I've copied it, it's not going to follow through, but I could make another test here of the mouse. User clicks on an object, and this would be my home button, and we can make it jump to frame, the first frame. So on my menu page, it will basically reset that page. Let's do that on here. So I'm testing for a click on the menu home page. You want to jump to frame title, that's for the head page. And then for here, I want another test. The user clicks on an object, and it's the home button there, and we want to jump to frame title, bang, like that. So now we've got a looping, that's the head page. We can go to the Piper page, and we can go back to the home page.